welcome back to J Music Talks. Today I wanted to talk about buying music supplies online versus in-store. So I kind of wanted to do a pro and con of each method. Alright, so let's talk about in-store first. In-store is really great because you get to test products, and that's one thing I really like. I like to try out new instruments that I'm buying before. I like to see the new products and get to hold them and look at the package and read a little bit more about them. And all the information that you get just from seeing the packaging and seeing the item up close and getting to touch and feel and be near it. It's right there in the store. It's instant. You can just pick it up and buy it and then you have it. And that's really great. Then you don't have to wait for anything. It's just right there. A lot of the stores will offer a teacher discount, whether it's on print music, on supplies, on mass orders for your band. They do offer teacher discounts at a lot of them. So ask about that if you haven't already, because a lot of stores will do that for you to try and gain your business and keep your business. Being able to see all the new products and ask questions about them and have them answered right on the spot is one of the main pros that I found buying in store, especially if you're unsure about something that's new or how it's changed from a previous model or release, whether it came out in a new lacquer or maybe it's a new shape, or maybe the reed brand came out with a different brand of reed, but they're jazz reeds versus traditionals. So I always like to get to ask questions and to see all the new products. Music stores tend to offer multiple services, so you could send your instrument away for repairs and pick up your supplies at the same time, and that's a huge bonus. Then you can get more things done at once. If you are someone that is taking lessons, you can also go and grab something while you're taking your lessons or before or after, and you can grab it right then and there. So if you need a certain book, you can just pop into the store and grab that book. So I always find that as a major benefit, especially if you're working in that sort of environment where there's a music store near or attached to your studio, to send your students right to the store, write out exactly what they need. You can even check that store's availability yourself for the product that you're sending your student to get if you want to make sure that they get it. So that's a really big positive. Some of the negatives. Just as I said, you can check the stock. A lot of times they do not carry things in store, or they have to bring it in from another store, or it's just out of stock right now and they have to bring it in. And sometimes that can take up to 2 months, 3 months. I heard someone had to wait 6 months for an instrument once. It just takes a long time for products to come in when it's a certain product or a certain instrument. Sometimes they get back ordered and it takes a long time. So not having it in stock is a major downfall at a lot of stores, especially if, say, you're going in to buy a certain reed size. You need alto sax reeds in a 3.5 for a concert tonight, and you're running around to like 3 different music stores and they do not have size 3.5. That's one of the major downfalls. Speaking about that, the limited stock. A lot of stores do not carry full lines or only a few products for certain instruments. Especially woodwinds, they don't tend to carry a lot of the supplies that we need, so they have to bring them in again. And the things that they do have in, maybe they're only student model brand things, so you're only targeting a certain audience, and that doesn't work for everyone. So if you're someone who unfortunately has to order in a lot of products, that limited stock might be a bit of a downfall for you. The distance between the stores sometimes is huge. It could be in different cities. They could be across a really busy section of town and take an hour to get from store to store. Commuting to them sometimes is a pain. Sometimes there's no parking. And that also kind of is more of a con towards the stores, is that you have to physically go to each one and move around between them. Sometimes the staff that are at the store that day are not knowledgeable about what you're asking about. Especially when you have someone who is in the quote-unquote band department but doesn't play any of the woodwinds. They're a brass specialist, and you come in looking for a certain mouthpiece and you need to describe the facing length and the tip opening and all these little things, and they're just looking at you like you're from Mars, and so you even write it down and you're pointing to the thing and they just don't understand what you're asking for, and it can get very frustrating. So that staff knowledge just sometimes it gets in the way and it'll hinder your shopping experience. In-store pricing, you have to pay what's on the tag, usually, unless you're doing the teacher discount. A lot of times they will have sales in stores, but oftentimes I found it's on guitar, piano, vocal mics, amps, and all the woodwind and brass and band products don't tend to go on sale very often. So when they do, it's great, but a lot of the times you are paying sticker price. Now let's speak to online stores and retailers. So there are tons of online stores, there's tons of stores that have an online presence and that will allow you to shop online, allow you to purchase things online, and that's great. However, there are some pros and cons to that as well. Some of the pros is the selection. They have a huge selection online. They can have extra products in a warehouse that can ship out directly, and that really allows them to offer a whole wide range of products that maybe they couldn't offer in their store or can't be offered in every single store, especially if you're playing something like a woodwind instrument that requires specialty products, like all these different mouthpieces and reeds and neck straps and cases. And with a lot of music stores catering towards guitars and pianos and voice and other instruments that are more popular, the selection online really is great to have. You can see so many more products, and a lot of times you can price compare as well, and that's amazing. Getting to compare prices between the stores and between a single product at all of these stores is great. And sometimes they even have promo codes, so you can save money online as well. Product suggestions are really great in these online stores because as you select a product, it can show other ones that you may be interested in as well, and maybe you didn't know about, maybe you had never seen before. So I actually really like the product suggestions when they come in for seeing new products and maybe things that I haven't tried that are very similar to something that I love. Or maybe it's something I could recommend to someone that maybe they thought it was okay, but they wanted something slightly different. I actually use those product suggestions to discover new products, and that's really great. When you're online, you can check your cart total at any time and just see how much you are about to spend. In store, you can kind of add it up in your head, but if you're getting a discount at the till, then your prices are going to be different no matter what. You're going to have to calculate in your tax, you're going to have to calculate in little extras if you add stuff on near the till. So I kind of like to see that online total, then I know how much I'm spending, and I know if I need to scale back and maybe remove an item for now, just so that I keep within a budget, because we all have to live within our means and not overspend just because something is cool or could really improve this and that and our sound and make life easier. Yes, that's great, but do not do it if you do not have the money. You can shop anytime you want. You can shop in your pajamas. You can shop at 1 a.m. You can shop anytime you want online. It is not restricted to store hours, which a lot of times are very limited. They have a very limited, sometimes they're 9 to 5, sometimes they're 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Sometimes on the weekends they have shortened hours, or during holidays they have extended hours, and to keep track of all that when you're running around, it just gets really frustrating, especially if everything closes at 5 p.m. and you've been working all morning and now it's 2 o'clock and you're running around to get everything done, and it's just a race against the clock. So getting to shop whenever you want, whatever time you want, whether you're a night owl or an early bird, you can shop whenever you want, and you can also shop whenever you remember a certain item. If you had a book that you were working with that, oh, maybe you want it for flute instead of saxophone, you can order it right then and there. And a lot of times you have your phone for convenience. You can have a laptop there ready to order, or you could be at your desk and just think of something and you can order it right then and there and not have to write it down on a list that maybe you'll forget, maybe you won't have time to go to a store. So you can just order it right then and there and have it coming to you. Some of the cons about having these things come to you from online retailers. Definitely shipping is a major one. Living in Canada, international shipping can get expensive. Sometimes it takes the price from a really good deal to something that's more than you would pay in store, simply because of all the extra charges of conversion and shipping. So do price check all your items and make sure they are in your currency, and check that they actually ship to you. A lot of times the UK retailers won't ship to Canada, and they won't tell you that until the very end. They'll say, oh yes, we ship to North America, but what they really mean is the United States. They don't mean Canada. So it's a little bit tricky in the wording, so do make sure that they ship to you, and then check how much their shipping is, whether they do flat rate, whether they do by weight, whether they have taxes due upon receipt or taxes due at the door or extra duty charges. They can really rack up. So do be mindful of that and shop in your own currency or calculate it in your own currency to make sure that you are in fact getting the deal that you want. Not being able to test things out sometimes is a little bit of a downfall of online shopping. However, I tend to pair it with going in-store, testing the product, and then price comparing in-store and online to see that I'm getting the best deal on that particular product. So that's how I've been getting around it, but sometimes you just have to get it in the mail and hope that it's gonna work and test it out yourself. And this is where we get into return policies. Check out the return policy before you purchase something that you are unsure of or something that is very breakable, like an instrument. If you purchase a saxophone from overseas and it's getting shipped on a boat, in a plane, on a vehicle, and it's getting shipped multiple ways and it's gonna end up getting hit around and bumped around, make sure that there is a good return policy in case it comes to you completely damaged. Similar to the plane situations where we see instruments getting mangled on the bottom of airplanes, in the luggage cart, getting run over by the luggage cart. Same thing can happen in a shipping process. Sometimes the listings aren't very clear online, so make sure that it does have a clear listing. If it doesn't, check out the product on another website, read reviews, make sure that you are getting what you want. Another negative about ordering online is sometimes your items get backstocked or they don't ship out at the same time. So one might come with express shipping right away and the other might be backstocked and not come for several months, or might not come at all if the product never comes back into their shop. So that's one of the dangers that I've found, and always using respectable sites tends to clear that up. So don't use anything that looks a little sketchy or could have that kind of an issue in it. Thank you for sticking around to the end of the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I would love it if you would all subscribe and join me here for more talks, and I will see you in the next one.